Hey everybody, this is Chris from the Positive Choice Integrative Wellness Center with another virtual wellness tip. And so we're all working really hard, we're sitting at our desk, we're doing all sorts of Teams meetings, and we get knots in our neck, we get knots in our back, and we can't go to our massage therapist because of physical distancing. Well, guess what? Today we've got the amazing Dr. Heidi Meyer, one of our integrative medicine specialists. So she's going to give us some techniques on how we can work these knots out without getting a massage. What do you got?
Yeah, so you're absolutely right, Chris. I am missing my massage therapist very much.
very much.
It's probably the first service I want to open back up, but it's not going to work out that way. So the reason that massage is so wonderful and underused, if you haven't tried it, when you can try it again, I encourage you to do it, is because we hold a lot of tension in the superficial structures of our body, and over those structures, the muscles, tendons, and ligaments, is a type of tissue that we call fascia. And most people have heard that word by now, but they have no idea what it means. We don't get a lot of education in medical school on fascia. PTs do, chiropractors do, but Western docs do not, which is a shame because a lot of pain conditions and medical conditions caused by tightness, such as low back pain, chronic headaches, have a lot to do with this stuff called fascia. And you can kind of think of it as like a soft, connected scaffolding for the body, okay? So the best way to let you know what it is if you've ever handled a raw chicken breast. There's a thin layer of tissue over the chicken breast. It's very fibrous and tough, and that is fascia. And if the fascia is covering a muscle, we call it myofascial. So today we're going to talk about how to do self-myofascial release with some common objects that you might have around the house. Now, what I'm holding in my hand is about the size of a lacrosse ball, but it's got a little tiny bit of give to it. But if you have a lacrosse ball at home, you could put it in a sock or two socks. A tennis ball works, although it's pretty compressible. Golf balls can work, or you can go on Amazon.com and just Google yoga therapy ball. They come in different shapes and sizes. The bigger ones are for bigger areas that have more tissue. The smaller ones are for the less soft areas. So I've got a medium-sized one, and I like to use this on all parts of my body. Like I said, it's about the size of the lacrosse ball. And the way you want to use it is you want to put it against a firm surface and then use gravity or you pushing against it to really work that muscle. There's a couple ways you can do it. So if I lean against the wall and I decide, you know what, my shoulder's been sore, I can just put the ball against the wall and I can roll against the muscle. And I can do this two ways. One, I can roll across the fibers, which is what I'm doing right now, because the deltoid fibers always go in the axis of a limb. So if they're going from top to bottom and I'm going from left to right now. Or I could do the opposite and I could go with the grain of the tissue. And it's probably a good idea to mix it up. I can also just find that really tender spot, that spot that's the most tender when I move around. There's one right there. And I just lean into it and breathe. And you want to hold for ideally 90 seconds, but if you do 30 seconds, that's great too. The other thing you can do is you can twist. So you can actually torque your body against that trigger point and hold that position. Okay, so a couple different things that you can do. I like to use it against the deltoid. It's also against this little gutter right up here where the trapezius and this shoulder blade start, well, that was a fast 4 minutes, start meeting. That's our, that's our little...
We can talk about this for hours.
Exactly, that's our little 4 minute. So that's how I use it. And another way I love to use it is I like to sit on it.
Right there.
And you can do that against a wall. Oh, and this is great if you have sciatic issues. And you can also stand on it. So put it on the ground, ball of your foot, great for plantar fasciitis. And if you have Achilles issues, you can put this on the ground and find that hot spot in your calf where the Achilles fibers have ended, and you can cross the other leg on top of it for a little bit of pressure and get some massage that way. So great use of hard round objects that you can find, but if you want to spend $8 and get a yoga therapy ball online, it's a great investment.
or just a couple bucks on a lacrosse ball. Keep
Yep.
it in your drawer at your desk. You have access to it at all times whenever you're feeling a knot. And I think the tender part that you were talking about is that part where you hit and it actually kind of hurts a little bit.
Yeah.
That's probably the knot that probably needs to be worked, right? So you
Yeah,
say,
we call those trigger points.
Trigger points,
right?
there
And
you go.
they'll trigger you for sure.
Right.
And that's really kind of the epicenter. And if you can get rid of the trigger point, a lot of times that's teaching the rest of the muscle to misbehave. And if you can fix that trigger point, you want to get to that hurt so good part where you can still breathe through the pain. If you're holding your breath, you're pushing too hard, or the ball is too hard.
Perfect. See, super easy, not a lot of equipment needed. You guys can do this at your desk. Thank you so much, Dr. Meyer. That was amazing. We'll see you guys next time for another virtual wellness tip. Until then, roll out those knots, stay healthy, stay well, stay safe.